All right, hey, it's Paul Salo here. All right, so we're today I'm looking at email that I just got. Actually, it's a message inside Facebook, and I wanted to kind of just read it and see if it give my feedback and see if maybe that it's helpful or gives you any insights. I'll just read the email. You can see it right on your screen there. Hi, Paul. Thank you for the friend request. Somebody named deleted did mention he knew somebody in China involved in real estate, and if you have any clients interested in investing in Australia, would be more than happy to work with you in finding an investment for them. Cheers. And then his name deleted. All right, so I wanted to just talk about this email, and I really don't want to. I want to point out the things that maybe could be different, what could make it better, and what could make it more effective. So, first thing I'll just say is he's asking, this person's asking for a client in the first email. So he says, okay, I'd be willing to be happy to work with you. Basically he wants a high value client, and he'll be happy to find a place for him. That's from my perspective, I don't know how many emails a day asking for people, referrals. And I get a lot of referrals. I think I don't know, depends on what area you're in the world, but I get emails like this, a lot of them every day. So I figured finally I'm going to go ahead and talk about it, and hopefully this will give you kind of a perspective on what it's like to get a lot of emails like this, right? First thing is asking for a client right off the bat. Yeah, it might work. It might potentially be possible. But I think one thing to think about is that the world is a huge, massive place, right? I mean, you look at the globe, just look at that massive, round globe. And when you have a client, the odds that they're going to want to purchase a property in the exact location of an email that you're getting randomly on the internet, just the odds are just low that I'm going to have somebody, I'm just going to say, man, I got somebody just in your town, they want to buy right on your street. The odds are really low, they're super low. So probably better to think about more long-term relationships, with people is, like I said, the odds, if you're say up in, the way I look at it is like this, like let's say you're up in space, you're in the space shuttle and you're orbiting the globe, and you just, close your eyes and you just threw a rock, outside the window. You open the window there, probably not too safe, but you open the window, you threw a rock out, and that rock just floats down, and eventually gravity grabs a hold of it, it comes down and it lands somewhere on the earth. That's basically what an email is like, coming out of nowhere. It just from anywhere, right? So the odds I'm going to have the perfect buyer for somebody in the first email are basically zero. So what would you do in that case? I would say you probably want to build a relationship with somebody, and then hopefully learn more about them and see where you can go with that. Okay, so the next thing I noticed is, it's a small thing, and I don't want to be too picky, but the grammar and the capitalization and the spelling, not so great. I'm not, I don't think I'm not the greatest writer myself. Can ask my dad about that. In fact, my handwriting is absolutely atrocious. I'm very grateful for computers because I can type. But that being said, people never liked my handwriting, and I think when I see somebody who doesn't take the time to capitalize things and properly make sentences and stuff, I think I think about it. It doesn't. I think for me, it doesn't influence me. Like, I'm not a grammar teacher or anything, so it doesn't. Doesn't make a big difference to me. But if I get a lot of emails per day, and some of them are very well written and some of them are not, I'll tend to go with the ones that are properly prepared, because I guess subconsciously I probably think this person has their act together, right? And they think about what they're going to be careful. They're going to be careful with my client, because if they're not careful with the first email, the odds that they're going to be very careful with my client are pretty low, actually. Okay, so what, and of course, I would be more than happy to work with you. That wording right there, basically what this email is saying is, you have a client and you're down below me and I'm up there, and I would be happy to, I would be happy to give you my assistance and find you a client. I mean, this is, I think everybody agree that every single agent in the world, I mean, isn't this what you're in the business for, is to close the deal, to sign the deal, a luxury property? That's what you want, right? I mean, the fact willing to work with you, I don't know what that means, to be honest. I mean, money from somebody, I think, yeah, I would like that, right? I don't see why I wouldn't be happy to someone to introduce a luxury property buyer. That part there doesn't really make sense. And of course, I don't want to give you the wrong impression. I mean, if I don't know. I mean, when people send an email, they're trying, right? They're out there actively doing something, and that, I got to say that I respect that a lot. People who actually, they get out there, right? They try, right? I always try, and if somebody else tries, I say, okay, it's okay, fine, that's fine. What could be better about this? That's what we want to do. We want to improve. And the person that wrote this email, I'm going to send this video to them too. So what could be what would make this email more attractive? And I would say, first thing I would say is that they're looking for Chinese clients, right? I'm in China, someone involved in Chinese real estate, right? They want to, so a lot of agents, they of course don't speak Chinese. They're not very good at reading Chinese. They don't have any people that can speak Chinese, and they don't have any experience working with Chinese. They generally don't know anything about mainland Chinese. They don't know about their needs. They don't know about, say, the finance situation, what it's like to take money out of China, what are the laws, how it's done. They don't know that kind of stuff. They don't know maybe what areas Chinese people like, what's attractive. So they might not have any listings, that are attractive to Chinese. And they might not have any experience, right, dealing with mainland Chinese people. That's where I am in mainland China. So that's the kind of stuff I'd want to see in an email. If someone's going to send me an email right off the bat and ask for a client, like right off the bat, boom, give me a client, and I'll be happy to handle them. That I would want to know is what do they know about Chinese buyers, right? I mean, obviously, if somebody, I really seriously doubt this individual has experience, but if you did have experience dealing with Chinese people, that would be something that would be worthwhile to mention, right? I've dealt with a lot of mainland Chinese people before. I understand, how the system works. I know what areas are interesting and things like that. That would be something I'd love to see in an email. Any kind of experience, if you knew, if you know about maybe types of Chinese, what as far as like students, where they want to live, what universities are most attractive, what areas are growing, what areas are, if you had some knowledge about the market, that would be something I'd love to see in an email, and that would influence me a lot, actually, more than just give me a client, right? If they said, I know mainland Chinese are coming to my area. I've talked to a lot of people. I've studied and I understand what people want. And then that would be, that would be something that would be cool. I would be very, that would at least pique my interest, because most emails, they don't say that, right? So that would get me interested. Another thing could be like what the person offers. So for a client, maybe they have, maybe they go out to the airport. Maybe they know how to make the client happy. They know how to, manage the client. That's stuff I'd love to hear about, right? I'd love to hear if they had an intern, a Chinese intern in their company who spoke Chinese, could talk to them, right? If they had a testimonial from a Chinese, wow, I'd love to see that. That would be fantastic if there was a testimonial. If they had, obviously, this is not, it's the same in every country, but if they talked about, if you're going to ask for a referral for a high-end client in your first email, in your first contact with somebody, you definitely want to mention what percentage you pay in referral fee. You definitely want to, if you're going to be that forward that you're going to ask for a client, I mean, come on, say what you're going to give, so that would be something that, talking about referral percentages would be good, but not nearly as important as talking about ability to handle the client, knowledge, experience, or lack of experience. Basically honesty. What level? Where are you? Another thing that could be in here that would be great is maybe listings. Listings that are attractive. I have this listing that's very, very attractive for Chinese. I've talked to, there's this area, people are moving in very quickly, and I think this would be an attractive area. But again, back to the beginning, is the odds that any listing they have is going to be an exact fit for some client that I happen to have right now at this very second, right? Probably pretty low, right? So I would say what I would want to do is I'd want to make friends. I'd want to figure out where the person's coming from and look for a long-term relationship, right? And I would give them respect. I would look up what they're doing in China, talk about that maybe. And I guess, in the end, like, the world's really changed. It's gotten so global, And in the old days, you would be competing with somebody, maybe down the street, right in your neighborhood, and then you would start competing with, people around a bigger area and a large area. And right now, you're competing on a global scale, right? You're competing with agents. I get emails. I'm writing up a proposal right now. After I finish this video, I'm making a proposal for a marketing company in Spain that handles all different huge developments, and they have a massive budget, and they're also quite nice too. Really, really very. They respond very quickly to things, and they're very flexible. So you're competing against marketing companies, you're competing against other agents, you're competing against other countries, you're competing against Chinese who are agents overseas. You're competing in this today. You're competing with all kinds of people. Now the good news is, like, it's actually, if you study, if you put your nose to the grindstone and actually figure this thing out, the bar is so low because, like I say, look at this email. This is very, very typical email. That's why I picked this email. This is not, don't get me wrong. This is not like the worst email. This is no way. I would say this is dead in the middle, or even, higher, higher than average, so, I would say probably the best thing that somebody like this could do is to study and to figure out more and more and more about the market and about what they need to prepare in advance and how they're looked upon and all that stuff. So I just want to give you, there's my little insight to the email, and I hope everybody has a good day, and thanks for listening.